And we're live. Good morning. Today is December 6th, 2018. Tomorrow will be my son Jacob's 6th birthday. And I'm looking very much forward to it as he becomes another year older, which in turn makes Daddy soon to be another year older. But it's been quite a joy to watch a little guy, from a newborn to a kindergartner. It's a lot of amazing stuff that I would have never imagined had I not had my own child. And even though I waited a while, I think it was the right move for me. So today, we are going on to AG's request of Spawn Without a Mask. And it appears from the reference that I could find. I remember he used to be Al Simmons, but I don't remember the skull and looks like scarring that was on his face. So I don't know if that's something relatively new or it was always there and I just, like I said, I didn't have that much attention to the character. But anyway, I am going to get working on this. As usual, I will take a break after about 10 or 15 minutes and see who's wandered in or came into the room, say some good mornings, and get back to the task at hand. So without further ado, let's get this started, shall we? I will say, being the nature of what I've seen in the reference and what I have pulled up on reference right now as I work, seems like this might be an opportunity to go into some tonal qualities that I haven't before in a kind of a painterly fashion, but we'll see. We'll see what comes in the ink stage. I would like to kind of keep the darks, the blacks, a little bit minimal, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. I'm just going to feel my way around this drawing and I, going on my memory, I'm going to say this is only my second time doing a Spawn. The first time was a pinup, as we discussed yesterday, for the actual Spawn comic back in 1994. I believe it was issue 23. So, good morning, Ron. How are you today? Another cold Florida morning. What gives with this, huh? If I wanted cold weather, I would have headed north. I guess it is December. I shouldn't complain that much. Could be worse. So he's got some, it's kind of a skull, kind of some flesh still left on it, I believe. So that's why I said there seems to be some areas here that I can paint in with tone. And only get these real dark areas as a black. So that's what I'm going to attempt. Now, I just had 2 emails come in. And I guess they ignore. I unsubscribed from the one that just sent me one because I was getting deluged by their holiday stuff, and I'm still getting it. I know some put a disclaimer of 48 hours. Fine. This was last week. I wonder if they ignore stuff in the holidays and just try to keep you on. But that's illegal from what I understand. Not that I'm going to try to do anything like that, but I'm just saying. Good morning, Mike Cross. How's the weather up there in Saskatchewan today? Really, Ron? Wow. Mine wasn't that bad. It was, I thought we were kind of done with the cold weather last week because like I said, my my weather app on my iPhone was not showing that we were supposed to get this cold this week. But where else can you have a job and be so wrong so many times and have no consequences than to be a weather forecaster? Now, I will say, out of what I do like, having a office away from home, that is one thing. If it was that cold, um, that's kind of the one thing I would. And I've been lucky; it hasn't been that cold since I've had this office. I would not like to have it that cold and have to come. Even though my drive is not that far, it just would not enjoy that whatsoever. It looks like the Captain America piece that I did yesterday was a nice success. Got some comments on it that were good. The person that purchased it left a very colorful comment, but I'm happy that they liked it so much. And it got a lot of nice views, which I appreciate. People going back if they can't watch live and at least giving it a look. So anyway, you can kind of see where I am putting in these. Hey, Dr. Kaz. Yes, it is chilly everywhere, I believe, if not cold. I did pick up another subscriber, so what's the count at now? 107? Just picked one up this morning. So thank you for subscribing to the channel. And I hope you're watching or will watch when you can. $108. Okay, thank you, Mike. 108 subscribers. Very good. Mike Cross, do you know if Alyssa is a subscriber to the Big Beatty live stream and YouTube channel in general? Or did you tell her to stay away? Which I couldn't blame you, you know. I have no idea what that is, Ron. Five Finger Death Punch and Breaking Benjamin concert last night. That must be some serious metal music. And you're probably running on a few hours of sleep, I would imagine, right? Hmm. Well, if she's a subscriber, Mike, then I appreciate it. Let her know that, would you? Hey, Mike, I was going to ask you. I remember you used to always pick up was it Wonder Woman drawings for Alyssa? Is she is she still interested in that at all, or has she pretty much um, left the hobby to Dad? Which I understand if she has. Just curious. Got in it too. Almost not worth going to sleep, right, Ron? I hear what you're saying, Mike. That's all I'm gonna say. Break and bend. Now, guys, I'm not familiar with Break and Bend. Is that a metal band? That's right. That's right, Mike. I remember that now. Saturate. Well, they sound like they're probably, from what I know of Ron's music taste. No, no judgment, but just it's probably a little too metal for me. And I know it's way, if it's any metal, it's way too metal for Zablo. But hey, we all have our own tastes, which is fine. Hard rock is fair, okay. Oh, okay. About the heaviest I ever got. You guys might laugh at this, and maybe not, because I don't know where to put them on the spectrum. I mean, they kind of they did make a transition, I guess, into the, do I dare say, top 40-ish. Uh, Back in the day was AC/DC. So those used to that band used to be in my collection all the time. I used to buy whatever they put out, and still listen to them occasionally. I mean, if they're on, I'm not going to turn it off. I'm gonna sing along with it. Yeah, AC/DC is that, that was that was about as far as I could take it, though. As far as like, I'm trying to think if there was anybody I'm missing. I never listened to Metallica. Oh, Guns N' Roses. I don't know where you'd put them. I think when they first came out, they had I still think they had a lot of potential. I still think they would, had it not been somebody got a real big ego. Flock of Seagulls. Hey, there you go. I love the 80s. Hey, Ron, uh, you'll enjoy this. Uh, Zablo sent me a text yesterday to ask me what was that song that we had in our heads, and I had totally forgot what it was, and I said Ron would know. I almost text you, and then literally within 10 minutes, he finally came back and had uh, the right stuff. He remembered it, and maybe he shouldn't have, though. I don't know if it stayed with him, but I thought it was funny that stuff like that does get in your brain, and then once you get it out, then he was trying to remember what it was again. Maybe he wanted to give it a listen. All right. Okay, I'm trying to figure out here. Gonna work up to the forehead, and I left these shapes because it's like red up there. With other connective tissue looking stuff. Mr. Cross, are you currently on the train, mass transit to work watching, or do you have today off? Is there some Canadian holiday that, or is it just the right time? Uh, uh. The right stuff. I better stop doing that. Ron may, put it back on his playlist. I wouldn't want to do that to him. That's a great song, Dr. Kaz. I love it. Uh, Michael Score, the lead singer of Flock of Seagulls, lives down here in Florida now in the India-Atlantic coastal waterway. And as it were, as fate would serve, he is also quite bald-headed. Which is a cruel thing, since he, as the lead singer of Flock of Seagulls, kind of, his look was the hair, of course. Oh, there you go, Mike Cross. You got the best of both worlds, or best of every world. You are the man, sir. That's interesting, Dr. Kaz. I didn't know that, but I could see that. Uh, I could also see, well, I could see their song Photograph being kind of given that same treatment. I don't know. I can't remember what year it was. I want to say 2012. Um, the remake of Modern English, Melt with You. Uh, I didn't really see a huge difference in the remake versus the original. I think maybe they just remastered it a bit because it did get some airplay because it was on a commercial. I forget who for. But I always liked that song. Always liked Melt with You. Billy Idol. Excuse me. Billy Idol was a big fave of mine. Still is. I still like to rock some Idol. I think Billy's still a pretty cool guy. He's still hanging in there, keeping it, you know. I think I don't know if he's got a new song on it, but I think they actually just came out or it's coming out sometime soon with a new um, Billy Idol album. Which one, Mike? Which mel- me- melodious voice? Mine or because of your work? Of course, if he had me muted and he couldn't hear that, then I guess I won't be getting an answer from Mr. Cross. Now, I will also mention, Ron, that one of my favorite types of music uh, is reggae, and that's courtesy of Mr. Mike Zeck. He's a big fan of reggae, and he's the one that introduced me to the roots rock sound of reggae music on my first trip up to Connecticut when I was 19. And we got to see quite a few really good shows going in and out of New York. And of course, that also includes ska music in there. Time the delay. Oh, have I timed out the YouTube chat delay? No, it should be on its normal. Really? I wonder if that's my internet connection, guys. Hi, AG. Let me check something. Yeah, I'm getting that circle on mine too. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give a reload. And I'm waving them. Let's see. Yep, okay. I think it just takes a reload. Yep, that should be right, Ron. So I reloaded and I'm back to good. So everybody else, if you're having a problem, just hit your reload. Unless you're watching it on not live, and you should get rid of any problems. AG, welcome aboard. Glad to have you here watching your artwork get done. And hopefully I'm doing it correctly. I do remember, I guess it was the movie, seeing, of course, Spawn without a mask, but I don't remember the scarring. So I don't know if that was just for the comic book or... And truthfully, I only saw the movie when it first came out. So I can't remember how many decades ago that was. So if it was there, maybe they made it a little more subtle. Not sure. But the reference I pulled up with Spawn Unmasked had it, so. And also with your referencing the ghostwriter, I kind of get it because you can see his skull through it. So I'm going to take that everything is what I found was correct. That I put the pieces of the puzzle together and am working on the piece that you wanted. Okay, AG. That makes sense. Isn't there another Spawn movie like in the works or being talked about now that it seems that all the superhero movies seem to be doing, except for DC, they just can't. If they would just get rid of all the dark, dark, dark stuff and play it like Marvel. Let's see. Let me stop here real quick. Got a text from the wife. That's one I will have to answer, right? All right. Take this time. That quick text. Let's see what's going on, chat room. Oh, okay. Jamie Foxx. Good. I like that. Yes, the new Spawn movie should be a lot better. Hi, Luca. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. Yep, I'm sure he has, and I'm sure the intentions were valid. Okay, hold on. Ron, you'll never know what I was just humming in my head. Dun 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 dun. Dang it. It's back. Maybe Zablo did that to me on purpose. Knowing that it might get back in my head. Hold on just one more second, guys. I wish I could do that, Dr. Kaz, but I don't think legally I can. All right. There you go. Dr. Kaz is hitting those lyrics. All right. Getting there. All right, Mike. Wow, lunchtime. Lunchtime. And he's an hour behind us. Lunchtime. I got like 10. That means he's at 9. Lunchtime? Well, enjoy, Mr. Cross. We will see you again at another stream, I'm sure. One little skull disc on and maybe you are an hour ahead. I don't know. Well, I suppose. Okay. Man, it is east of us? Wow. Dr. Kaz, I'm with you. This year I didn't do like a full keto, but I did cut out carbs, sugars, all that bad stuff. I've not been very good on it right now lately, but I went in to do the intermittent fasting, and I got to where I was doing a 18-6. I would have my first meal at 2 and my last one by, what would that be, by 8. And it looked really good. Yeah, neat little skulls on his app. Excuse me, folks. My phone doesn't want to stay where I put it today. Okay. Well, thank you, AG. I appreciate that. Okay, neck. Kind of the similar thing on the forehead. I'm going to figure out some main shapes, which I've already kind of blocked in. So it's just a matter of playing around with them a little bit. And I'm pretty sure, just like the Ghost Rider at the end, I'm going to want to put some white splatter. I think that was a good effect. I think it'll work well on this. Could be AG. Let's see. Yeah, it did. Splatter can be uh, a really nice addition to certain pieces. I think on this, with all the scarring and stuff, I think a little layer of splatter will also play a nice role to break up even more these shapes. It gives it a more organic feel, because as much as I try to make them unpattern like, they still, you know, I think, at least for me, coming from my hand, they're still going to pick up a certain pattern. And splatter, it just goes where it wants, and that's where I really like it. That's what I really like about it too, is it really breaks up a shape into a way that, it's so random. I mean, I'm doing a good job here, I think, breaking these up. Uh, his bottom lip is light, but I need to just add a few little darker cracks here. I kind of have some here, and I have some up top already, although I think I need a few of these. And finally get in here, because there we go. Okay. I don't mind the top of the head being so, the light would be hitting the top of the head. So there's like a red thing, which I am assuming is blood. Yeah, it is the Pentel pocket brush, because it gives me a nice little chisel type point that I can work with. Whereas if I take out my other brush, I'm a little more meticulous. I seem to be a little more meticulous with it. So I thought I would do this. I know what Dr. Kaz's secret is. I know what it is, but I'm not going to give it up. Okay. Let's see. Let me see. Got to reply to this real quick. Let's see. Yes, it is, Dr. Kaz. Mm, 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 mm. It's in my head. Ron, it is in my head. Get it out. Wow, that's interesting, Dr. Kaz. Well, you got a nice replacement. Do, 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 do. Yes, AG has it. It all started on Black Friday. And that's my sister Ann. I'm going to put this on mute and take this for a second. Okay, I'm back. sister just wanted to know if we were going to have a little get-together at the house for Jacob's birthday tomorrow, and I told her yeah. All right. Let's see. Got to get in here now with a little bit bigger brush, not my huge one yet, but just enough to so I don't kill all the ink out of that pocket brush, and finish off the cape area here. I think that's got it. That's going to be a nice white in the back. I need to heavy up this a little bit. Let that dry for a few seconds, and we'll start with the tones. All right, Dr. Kaz, I will do that. That I will do. And I hope you all don't mind me taking a quick break. These later streams, I drink a lot of fluid in the morning, and about now, I got to get up. So let me take a couple minute break and go down, use the men's room. When I come back, this should be dry, and we can start doing the tones on it. So I will be right back. I'm going to mute the microphone, and that way you won't hear my keys or anything jingle jangle. And if y'all need to run and take a break, now would be a good time. But I definitely need to. Okay, and I am back, and of course the first thing I do when I sit down is take a drink of my LaCroix sparkling lemon water. So the cycle starts again. Dr. Kaz, when you were doing your, well, if you still are doing your IF, did you start doing the apple cider vinegar and lemon water? I did that, and that's supposed to get your gut pH in order. And I need to get back on that. I would drink a glass of water first, usually either at my house or first thing when I'd get down here, followed by the apple cider vinegar mixture. I do have to say, I would put a little stevia in mine to sweeten it because, boy, it can be, I would mix mine fairly strong. I probably used more apple cider vinegar and lemon than what some of the recipes actually tell you to. Like, I think it's a couple of teaspoons or teaspoon for whatever. I just eyeballed it. All right, so time to mix up. Although I do have a little bit of water here, I'm going to try it and see if I can get my light shade. Maybe it's too light, but it may be what I need just for an overall wash. Actually, I think it is. I think I'm going to do like kind of an overall wash on this piece, except for his eyes, which are glowing. But this will just give me something down that's not a pure white. Something to start building up the other wash tones on. Now, the other nice thing about the texture of the spawn here is I don't have to be so fussy about making the wash maybe blend as smoothly, because if y'all look at the reference, if you pull up some Spawn Unmasked and see this, you'll see that it's you know, it's pretty rough. So the little bit of natural where the water pools up and the color might be a little darker or lighter is actually going to play into my favor on this particular piece. And I'm gonna kind of actually play that up to my advantage now. Did I lose the chat? Let me check. I haven't seen anybody post anything, so I'm beginning to wonder if I got the... Nope. I guess nobody's had nothing to say. Let me see. which is fine if everyone's just being quiet. I just didn't know. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this view page anyway. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yep, that's the one I use too, Dr. Cass. And thank you, AG. I'm glad you're enjoying watching your piece be created. I enjoy doing it for you. And let's see. Go ahead and just get this light tone on these discs and chains so I can build up on them. Just a quick light wash. There we are. Now, I don't want to go extremely dark. More on his face, but I do want to have some dark areas. Thanks, Doc. So, take a little ink wash, or take a little ink, get a little water going, and let's see. That might do it. Let me take a look. And let me just get in here and kind of play around with these areas in the middle. Looking back at my reference to try to I think that's going to be nice. Get dark in here. Let the outside and of course this part of the nose catch some light. Same thing here. Underneath the eye. A little bit darker inside the nose. And that is showing up well on the monitor. I just took a look. Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing, Dr. Kaz. But then I kind of had my over caffeinated, you know, I think that really, and I didn't drink decaf. I never have. I only started drinking coffee around 2010. And it was one of those things that I never liked until I found the right coffee. And then I kind of had to force myself to like it. I had to kind of get used to the bitter aftertaste on some coffees. But now I know that I can frou-frou them up if I want. I can put all sorts of flavors and stuff like that. But I still, at the end, I want to have that coffee aftertaste, that little bit of bitter. Or what's the point, you know? But I'm used to it now, and I the interesting thing is I do not like really to eat coffee with food unless, of course, it's something I shouldn't eat, like a Danish or a muffin. So I usually just have my coffee alone. I don't like it with eggs and bacon and any kind of food. It just, unless it's some sort of pastry or something, it, to me, it, I haven't got used to having coffee as a drink with any other food. Okay. He would probably want to put the pupils in. That was one of our jokes that we used to do is whenever I would draw Batman or Wolverine, and we would sometimes set this up. I would do one real quick, not even a good one, but he would draw the pupils in it just to see people get horrified that he would take one of my drawings and add the pupils and be proud of it. This is when we were much younger, I'll say, like 10 years ago. Young at heart. All right, so we need some darks going on up in this area. Going to kind of follow this pattern that's established. I think I need to go over that again. I think it can be a little darker. Didn't want to go too dark the first time, but because I do want to actually tone the cape. I want to get in there because it's a red, it's a dark area, and I want it to pick up a value. And I don't want to really hit any like brushed in white on this. I only want the splatter white to come in on the spawn figure. Just so it really is haphazard. No, breakfast is not. And as you well know, Dr. Kaz, because you are an intermittent fasting guy, hence the name breakfast, break, fast. And it sounds to me like you, maybe you do, maybe you don't, Dr. Kaz. And are you familiar with Dr. Eric Berg? He chiropractor who actually is now a keto guru, and I followed a lot and still do follow him on YouTube. And I learned a lot of what I know about more healthy eating now than ever in my lifetime by watching him and putting his methods, or it's not really his methods, but the keto and the intermittent fasting into play. So you know what, AG? You're absolutely right about that. When I told a lot of people that I was fasting, they panicked for me. They're like, "You're going to starve your body." And I said, "No, I'm not." I said, "I'm actually letting my body rest. I'm not constantly giving it something to do." And it's really hard. And believe me, I was one of these people um, that did not understand the concept myself until I actually did it. And once I got the simple carbohydrates like out of my system and the sugar, and it took a couple weeks and it was tough, but once I quit craving them, now like I said, I've not been good lately. So for what it's worth, I'm kind of been cheating too much and need to get back on it. Once I got that to where I wasn't hungry. It's like people were, and I get it. Your body still needs the nutrients and stuff like that, so you got to feed it something. But some people don't get the whole fasting thing. They think you're just on a starvation diet, but you're actually eating a lot of food. You're just eating the right food. That's what they don't get. And they think you have to have certain things. You're right, Dr. Kaz. You are absolutely 100%. I agree with that. And let me tell you, the 55 pounds that I lost came off very quickly. And I'm not saying this proudly because I should be. It came off. I'm 57 years old. I'm at 225 pounds now at 6'1". I was at 282 when I started. And I've gained 4 pounds back since I've went off the diet. And that's been like since the end of October. I haven't really followed it. I will go back and do it for a day or so, but something this time of year I knew would be tough, but I think I can turn it on and off, so to speak. I mean, I know the next time I will go hardcore back into the cutting out the simple carbs and sugar again. I just got to get past a few holidays and stuff. Like I will have cake tonight for Jacob's birthday. I'm not gonna not do that, but I think it's gonna be easier because my body is gonna know what to expect, and it might be good. So actually, at 225, people were beginning to tell me I was too thin, and I may have been. So I kind of say I'm on maintenance right now, which is a lie. I'm not on maintenance. I'm just eating. So And I mean a lie in the best sense, you know. It's um, a lie in the fact that, okay, you know, I should be eating right. You know, it's not an excuse. Doesn't matter why I'm eating bad. It's, you know, I'm eating bad. I'm back to eating bad, and I shouldn't be. Whoa, that was a lot of ink wash that got on that brush. I'm glad I caught that over in the palette. Okay, so now this is a dark tone, which is going to go in the back part of this cape. I'll tell you, Dr. Kaz, I was one of the biggest skeptics about organic and GMO and all that stuff. I had even spoken to a lady at the church I haven't been to in a while, but the church that I go to, she grows her own food. Um, she's very much into health, and we had a discussion at a potluck one time, and I was like, I don't believe any of it. I think it's just lies to charge more for food, yada, yada, yada. And boy, I tell you, um, when she saw my progress and she asked me about it, and I told her, I said, wow, you were right. You know, I said, I've never felt better. The weight came off extremely easy. And it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. Okay, let's see how that dries for a minute. That's true. That's absolutely true, Dr. Kaz. I am now a firm believer that um, I think food is a medicine. You know, it's not just to eat. It can be used as a medicine. But I don't think your general doctors are trained enough in nutrition to be able to, you know, to really do anything. Now, an interesting thing is when I was younger, I went to a nutritionist, and to lose weight. And basically what she did is when I was 19 and had high blood pressure, still do, hereditary. Believe me, I've tried to get off the meds, but it's still there. And I get heredity, you know, sometimes you got to deal with stuff. But so she basically, what she did was put me on a 1,400 calorie a day diet. And I started running, and I used to run 3 miles a day, 12 noon in Florida. Yeah, I know that was stupid, but I didn't start running at 12. I would do it first thing in the morning, but then when I got into running, when I really enjoyed it, I don't know why I picked 12. I just did. I also got a nice suntan, so maybe that was part of it. But so I lost 65 pounds in 10 months working her 1,200 or 1,400 calorie a day diet. Well, you know what? Even without the exercise, I would have eventually at 1,400 calories a day lost that weight. Yeah, I am a firm believer that you know, you've heard the saying, I'm sure, that abs are made in the kitchen, and I believe it. I thoroughly will stand by that now. Go work out all you want. Keep eating junk food and you're going to see some progress, but if you add the correct diet, man, you know, get out. You're going to perform great. Fifty-five was when I was 19, but this year I've lost 55 pounds at age 57 without exercising or anything, just and not even, I'm going to say not even, I did not count a single calorie. I did fasting and, like I said, modified keto because I probably didn't eat as much fat as is suggested. That was the one thing I'm still having a little bit of trouble wrapping my head around, but truthfully, it you know, everything else that I did worked. So I have no problem believing that that would not work too. Now I know that it, you know, sometimes it doesn't work for somebody, but the main thing is what I did worked, and it worked fast. I and I've kept it off. So it hasn't been a year yet because I actually started around December 30th or 31st. Like I wasn't going to make it a New Year's resolution. I wanted to do it in December. So so that I could say, "Oh, it's not a New Year's resolution. It's just a new way of, how I'm going to eat, how I'm going to live." So, that's kind of what I did. And I've learned a lot and I continue to learn a lot. Thanks, AG. Yep, that's the way. That's right. That's it, Dr. Kevin. I have had people at when I do a comic convention tell me how good I look, and they ask me, what'd you do? And I just tell them. And that's when we get into the discussion about the fasting, and that's where sometimes they begin to uh, look at me like I'm crazy, like, oh, so you're just starving yourself. That's what you're telling. No, I'm not starving myself. I eat plenty and I'm hungry. I'm not hungry. It's what I eat, when I eat it, and how I eat it. I even had one friend of mine um, at a show. He was talking about my weight loss. He hadn't seen me in a while, and I've known this guy since the 80s. And I told him about cutting all sorts of just junk out of my diet. And I told him, I said at the shows, I said, I'm usually busy. I don't have time to eat anyway. So I just have a dinner. On that, I am doing one meal a day a lot of times. Um, and he was drinking a sports beverage, which I won't name, but we're all very familiar with it. They were the first one. And he said, "Yeah, I need to lose some weight." And he goes, "But he goes, I at least I keep my fluids up by drinking this." He goes, I drink a lot of this at shows because I don't get time to eat either. But he goes, I want to keep hydrated. And I said, well, that stuff will keep you hydrated. Now he didn't have one with him at the time. I just remembered that. And I said, have you checked the label on it? I said, and he's like, no, why? And I said, check the carbs and the sugar. I said, you're getting electrolytes, which is good. You're getting sodium, which is good to stay hydrated. I said, but the trade-off for the sugar and the carbs you're getting, I said, you're not going to lose any weight continuing to drink that. So I see him the next day. He comes over and he's like, wow, you were right. And I said, yeah. I said, I told you. And he said, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use I don't know, they have a reduced calorie product. And I said, dude, that's not going to do it. I said, even their reduced product is too much. Hey, congratulations, AG. My dad, he went through uh, stopping smoking, And you know, that's it. It's got to be tough, but it can be done. It's really, I think what most people, well, I'll use myself. I'm the best example of what I can, you know, because everybody's going to be different. But I know myself, and so when I was like, okay, I need to lose weight. I need to give this a try. I was like, I can do this one or two ways. I can try to slowly take myself, you know, like cut out, like I won't eat rice or I won't eat pasta or I won't eat potatoes. I'll do that for a week. Then I'll add another simple carbohydrate that has no nutritional value to me. I also knocked out fruit, by the way, because of the sugar and carbohydrate. Um, and I said, or I could just go all in and try to do it cold turkey. And then if I fail, I can go in and try to modify and do it, you know, a little bit at a time. So I had this discussion with myself. What was the way I was going to do? Well, okay, you have to know yourself, and I know myself. So I went all in, knowing that if I tried to, let's say, wean myself off of the bad stuff, it wasn't going to happen. It was not going to happen. I would have wound up cheating too much, saying like, oh, you know, well, maybe I've lost 3 pounds in 2 weeks or something like that. And, you know, all I did was give up rice. So I can just stop eating rice. I'm going to lose weight. So I went all in. I just said, as of today, it's out. I'm not eating it. And for the next, I don't know how many months, January, February, March, April, May, maybe around June, 6 months, 7 months, 55 pounds, bang, gone. Bye bye. And then by that time, it had just become my normal habit. I knew what to buy. I knew what to eat. I had my schedule. It was a very good thing. Yeah, that's really great, AG. I think I don't drink or smoke. Um, and I'm glad I don't. Uh, I used to drink some, not a lot, but I quit, and I never did smoke. So good job, really good job. Okay, I think the last thing I'm gonna do is these little white areas on the cape. Um, I might go back in with, yes, exactly, Dr. Kaz. Gonna go back in and just add a very, very light wash so that it's not pure white. So I mix some of that up. And while my brush is very wet, I'm going to go put it in. It's very subtle, maybe too subtle. I think I might add just a touch more color. Why do I call it color when it's a gray tone? I don't know, but you all know what I'm talking about by now. So this will just make the whites, which are really only in his eyes, which are bright, and the little background sliver, which is what I want. That white in here will draw your eye down to the actual character. So that's what I'm attempting to do. That's my thinking here. Just so we're all on the same page, so you know a little bit of the thought process. And then this is going to get some splatter. Because I think I'm going to call this, I want to do a little bit more dark under his neck here, just to pop it out, just to pop his head out rather. All right. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Dr. Kaz. This has become a health show, lifestyle, uh, eating and drawing. But it's interesting. It kind of seems like those uh, who are mindful or have chimed in on their eating, that we all have the same kind of viewpoint on the food, that, you know, like AG said, yeah, eat when you're hungry. And I agree with that. That's, fasting can work. But I have to admit, it does get to the point where I do have to make myself. There were times I wasn't hungry, but I would make myself eat because I didn't want to get to that point, because I was not trying to go to one meal a day. That was not my goal. So I would go ahead and have a meal, even if it was a smaller meal than normal, which for me usually consisted of some sort of salad and a protein and some fats, of course, whether it be an avocado, the dressing, whatever. All right, so we are ready to splatter. And you know what? I kind of had a feeling I was going to do this splatter technique on this one, so I should have had this ink shaken up already this morning because it gets foamy. I think if y'all remember from last time, and not that there's anything wrong with that. It just this is the ink that I'm using, Liquitex acrylic ink in this little bottle, and it's a very thin. You can see the foam, but I'm gonna take some up, and you can see it maybe dripping out. Actually, just had an idea. I'm gonna put some in my little palette to use instead of out of the bottle, so I don't have to worry about getting that that little foam that wants to come up. Now I'm going to do a practice over here. There we go. Okay, got it going. So I always start towards the corner in case I get a big blotch. Nope, we're doing good. Now I can get up into here a little bit better, and I kind of see the throw of the splatter once it starts moving. So I kind of have an idea of which way I really want to get at the bottom. I want to get it kind of moving up. That's nice in there on the forehead. Perfect. All right. Now you probably can't see that, of course, as well as I can. But it's good. The one thing I'm going to do while I got the white ink out is I got a little bit of gray in this eye, so I'm going to get rid of it. It was a light gray, but since I got white ink in a brush, I may as well take advantage of it. All right, everybody, there we go. Spawn Unmasked for Mr. AG. Thank you very much, sir. It is, yes, it is titanium white, Liquitex acrylic ink. It's a little 1 fluid ounce bottle. And all I did was put it in a number 2 or number 3 brush that I use for inking. Although this is a one that is a little more clean. It doesn't have the black ink in it. Get it in there and hit my finger across it, and it starts to come off. Thank you, AG. I appreciate that. And thank you for your Black Friday, Cyber Monday purchase. And as I close the show up, I would like to thank everybody who joined. If you're not a subscriber, I will run through these 4 things real quick that you can help me with. Number 1, subscribe. Number 2, when the little bell shows up, go ahead and click that for notifications. Number 3, give this video a like if you liked it. And number 4, leave a comment down below. I will get back with you. So that will do it for today, December 6th, 2018. I will be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have another later start with a web-headed Spider-Man for Dr. Kaz, who has been in the room all through this one, helping with the chat. Thank you all for showing up, and I will see you next time. Until then, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.